Good afternoon and welcome to a very blustery afternoon at Thornton Academy Sports Complex. Today, Thornton Academy coming in at 5-4, taking on Westbrook, who are 3-6 on the year. Jay Harper along with Tim Langelier bringing you today's action and a must-win situation this afternoon for Thornton Academy. Tim, after going 4-0 to start the season, they're on a 1-4 skid and they really have to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, the pitching hasn't been too bad. It's they haven't produced a lot of runs lately. And I think that's what's put them in a hole. One nothing. I'm sorry, Jay. A 1-0 start against Biddeford, but that's all they could produce. They're just not putting the runs across.
And looking down at the batting averages, I have them through 7 contests, so we don't have the stats through the Biddeford game. But before that, certainly that is the story once again, as was last year. Team batting average is well below 300. It's down around 240. There's only 2 or 3 kids that are up above 300 right now on the season, and that has been the story for them the last couple of years. They started out pretty hot, putting some runs across, but on this 1-4 skid, the batting has definitely not been there for the Trojans. As we said, Westbrook comes in at 3-6. This is their first meeting this year between Thornton and Westbrook. Westbrook's 3 victories have come over South Portland, Cheverus, and Deering. Of course, catching Deering on Mark O'Brien's off day.
Lucky for them.
That's about the only time you're going to get a W over Deering. So Thornton Academy at 5-4, and definitely need this victory to get themselves back rolling here. And the starting lineup for Thornton Academy on the mound will be Guy Langelier. He comes in with a 2-1 record, 1 save on the year. Spreading out around him, Chris Nason at first base, Jeff Kamari, co-captain at second, the freshman Keith Credo at short, Matt Cook playing third base this afternoon. In left field we have Dave Lavigne, in center field Don D. Wright, and in right field Greg Parody and Chris Stryker will be DHing for Parody today in Coach Varia's lineup. And we're ready for today's action. Leading off for Westbrook, number 14, John Conley. Second baseman, and Langelier opens with a strike.
Any idea how Westbrook's been hitting the ball this year, Jeff? I'm sorry, Jay.
They've had their problems, as has Thornton. They've had a couple of good games where they put some runs across, but overall, right about in the same boat Thornton Academy is so far on the season. Strike 2. 1-2 now. Umpires for today, Ray Pitsy behind the plate, former Biddeford alumni, and Tony Levesque doing the bases today. Pop up towards center field. Coming in is Wright, and he'll make the play for the first out in the inning.
We get a strong wind blowing in from left center. That ball held right up in the wind. I doubt you're going to see too many balls hit a long distance today.
The only possible place that you can get one to go with the wind is if you jack one towards right field and it blows towards the right field foul pole, because it's kind of blowing in and across the field right now. Up now, number 32, Brian Pepin. Pepin, the pitcher for Westbrook this afternoon. His record on the mound is 1-1 on the season. Batting in the number 2 position. Popped up high in the infield. Pitcher Langelier calling for it, and he makes the play.
Little ice cream cone on that too. A lot of white showing.
But he had the other hand there properly, so it's protected in the glove. And 2 outs. Most often, especially as you move up in the levels, especially in the major leagues, the pitchers won't even field that. Why is that? Because the more they pitch, the less they become hitters and fielders. Why can't these good athletes who undoubtedly play in high school ball stay up there and make the play?
Well, I think most of them are worried about possibly being injured. They've got enough to worry about throwing balls and strikes. Let the pop-ups go to the first base, third base, and catcher. Let them take those. They practice them a lot more than the pitchers would. So they just back off and give way.
Now in the box, Mark Sawyer playing center field. Big, tall kid. So far, Langelier having no problems finding the strike zone. Working a curve and fastball. And
another pop-up.
And that one skied down the first base line. That's Kamari's ball all the way, and he's out to make the catch. A nice play.
Right on the line.
And 3 up, 3 down, all pop-outs after half an inning at Thornton Academy. Westbrook nothing, Thornton Academy coming to bat. All right, due up for Thornton Academy in the bottom of the first. Leading off will be number 4, Dave Lavigne. Lavigne playing left field this afternoon. Through 7 games, he had a .281 average, 9 for 32. And of course, 3-1 on the mound. He's been their bright spot on the pitcher's mound. Batting second, number 13, Jeff Kamari, the second baseman. And batting third, the third baseman, Matt Cook, who the players tell me has had the glove working for him over at that hot corner lately. And batting cleanup, Chris Nason, the first baseman. And doing the pitching chores is Brian Pepin, wearing number 32, 6'1", 180-pound right-hander. And Thornton Academy really needing to get some bats working and some early runs. Give Langelier some run support.
Well, that's what they need to win, Jay. They got to score some runs. You don't score any runs, you're not going to win any ball games. They've got some good, strong hitters on this team. They've just got to put it together like they did in the first 4 games.
Started out like a ball of fire, did the Trojans, jumping out to a 4-0 record, beating strong clubs, Portland, Lewiston, but then the second time around, those teams came back to beat the Trojans, so find themselves in a bit of a slump.
Ooh.
Pepin high and in tight. Lavigne has to jump away, and it's 2-0 quickly. Pepin doesn't look like he has a whole lot of speed out there. And another high pop-up down the right field line. That could be trouble. Right fielder coming in, and he makes the catch right on the line.
Well, it's 4 batters and 4 pop-ups today.
And of the major league proportion, those things are going up in the air, way up there. And with a tough wind, saw that opening day in Fenway, that can cause a lot of havoc. So far the wind not being a major factor as it gets up there. Stepping in, second baseman Jeff Kamari. Through 7 games, only a .240 average. And last year he was the one Trojan that was over the 300 mark for Coach Varia, so finds himself in a bit of a slump halfway through the season. Low, 2-0.
I've noticed over the last few games that Thornton hitters have been seeing a lot of curveballs. They're a good fastball hitting team, but they've had their trouble with the curveballs this year.
Kamari taking there, and it's 2-1. A little low, and the count works to 3-1. When the wind dies, it's a fine afternoon. Another high rocketed, and this one's towards center field. Mark Sawyer comes in and makes the play for out number 2.
Well, that's 5 straight, Jay.
Very ironic. Thornton opened with a skyrocket to center field as well, while Langelier delivered to Conley as he lifted one to center. Now Thornton has worked it backwards. And now that'll bring up number 18, Matt Cook. And the curveball over for a strike.
Well, I think the pop-ups are going to end here. Matt Cook, a decent line drive hitter.
Swinging at a high fastball, and it's quickly 0-2. Matt Cook, through 7 games, was 9 for 30, 300 batting average. Hangs in there. Count remains 0-2.
We'll see if he gets the curveball here.
Fastball, line drive, base hit into left field. So Matt Cook breaks the fly ball syndrome, and he gets the Trojans a base runner here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
That was a sharp hit line drive.
And that'll bring up cleanup hitter Chris Nason. Nason playing first base. So we'll see if the Trojans can get themselves a 2-out rally. The only other game we covered this year into Portland, they had a lot of 2-out rallies. Cook with the leadoff, first base. Pepin checking him out. High fastball missing upstairs, 1-0.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Various send Matt Cook.
I would think it'd be more in a hit-and-run situation, though, rather than the flat-out steal with the 2 outs. Maybe looking for Nason to punch it towards right. There he goes. Ground ball. Hit and run was on. It'll be a long throw for the shortstop, and he bobbles it, and everybody will be safe. Greg Posh, the shortstop, deep in the hole. It would have been a very difficult throw across the diamond to get Nason, but
I don't know about you. I'm giving him the hit. He would have beat that throw.
And that's probably the right call.
He had no chance getting Cook as Matt Cook was off and running.
So the hit and run was on just as we suspected. And that'll bring up Guy Langelier. Guy pitching this afternoon, batting in the number 5 spot. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Looks at a high curveball that misses. We're only through not even a full inning, but so far Ray Pizzi, the most consistent umpire I've seen all year.
Without question.
Looks like he has a good judgment of that strike zone. Of course, Ray, 1979 graduate of Biddeford. I played sports against him all the way through my career. It's now 1-1 to Langelier, looking to hit for his own cause. High and in tight, 2-1.
How guys do to have a big game.
Just outside, 3-1, so he has a count in his favor. Can look for a certain pitch right now and try to drive it. He's got a big gap in right center. Center fielder playing towards left, playing him to pull. Sawyer's over, shaded towards Ryan Murray, the left fielder. Ball 4, so the bases are now loaded for Dondi Wright. And the last time we covered the game in Portland, Tim, you touched his bat and he had himself a superb afternoon. Did you get a chance to go over and rub the bat today?
Yeah, he came over to talk to me.
So let's see what Dondi can do now. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Trojans threatening in the bottom of the first inning. Blustery afternoon at Thornton Academy. Misses inside, 1-0. Langelier on at first. Nason on at second. And Matt Cook, the runner, over at third. Pepin trying to work himself out of a jam, and he misses upstairs, 2-0.
He's having some problems finding the plate right now.
You can hear the wind blowing into our microphones, and that's a strike. 2-1 now. So Donnie probably taking in this situation with Pepin having control problems, and now he'll be ready to swing away. High foul, that'll be out of play, so the count works even at 2-2.
They had a good cut at the ball there. This shading Dondi to pull the ball a little bit too. He likes to go to the opposite field, and he proved that in the Portland game.
Pepin looking in. Curveball hit toward shortstop. Shortstop looking over to second, doesn't have time, has to fire across the diamond, and Dondi Wright beats it out. An infield hit for Wright. For some reason, Posh couldn't go to second base for the force. Langelier must have had a big jump on the ground ball, and and he opted to fire across the diamond, and Dondi Wright hustling down the line, beats it out, so he gets a base hit and an RBI, and the Trojans are now on the board, leading 1-0. The wind picks up even more, and now stepping in is Chris Stryker, DHing this afternoon for the right fielder Greg Parody.
It was excellent hustle down the first baseline by Dondi Wright.
Total surprise that Posh didn't go to second, and then even more surprise that Wright was able to beat that out, because that was a great throw. Hard ground ball to third, bobbled there, picked up, and the tag put on Langelier for the third out in the inning. So the Trojans leave the bases loaded, but they do pick up the go-ahead run. And after one complete in Saco, the Trojans 1, the Blue Blazers 0. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. So a solid inning for Thornton Academy. The 2-out rally started to put the ball on the ground, and things started to happen once they got out of that pop fly syndrome. And Westbrook having a few problems in the field. And coming up for Westbrook in the top of the second will be number 34, Jason Hansen, playing third base this afternoon, who made that last play, bobbled it, then was able to pick it up, put the tag on Langelier. He'll be followed by Jason Anderson, playing first base this afternoon. Then Ryan Murray, the left fielder, and Jeff Diaz, the catcher, will be batting fourth in the second inning.
Would you have believed that halfway through the season, Jay, that a freshman is leading this team in hitting?
No, and it's amazing what he continues to do. Solid player, heads-up player, and he just keeps getting better and better. Saw that against Biddeford, where he got a nice base hit in the inning that Thornton picked up their run. It's been so windy. There's just no such thing as a warm baseball afternoon in the state of Maine. I'm sorry, but I have yet to see it in any years. You get a nice sunny afternoon, and then the wind's blowing so hard that it makes it downright miserable. It was the same situation Saturday over at Biddeford. Nice sunny afternoon, but the wind was really kicking up that day. Hansen looks at strike one, the count even now, 1-1.
I believe it's 0-2. He swung at the first pitch, fouled it off the umpire's foot. So he's down 0-2.
And he protects, knocks that one out of play, and the count remains 0-2.
Guy should be wasting a pitch right here.
Trying to make him chase. Delivers a high fastball down to Cruddle, the shortstop, fields it up cleanly. Long throw, got him. Nice stretch by Nason. And a good hustle down the line by Hansen. But the freshman continues his consistent play at short. And Langelier has retired the first four he's faced. Westbrook, a very large team as you see these kids come up here. They got plenty of size. Number 21 stepping into the box is Jason Anderson, first baseman. He looks at ball one. Little blooper towards short.
Gonna be a tough play.
Got him again.
Another good stretch by Chris Nason.
And a fine throw over there by Credo. So 2 6-3s. Westbrook staying consistent in their inning. We'll see what Ryan Murray will do, but they started off with 3 pop-outs in the first and now 2 groundouts to short in the second. Swung on and missed, strike one.
Boy, he chased that one.
Kevin Gobiel doing the catching today for Thornton Academy. Just missing inside with the curveball. Beautiful curveball. Over for strike 2. Count moves to 1-2. Guy seems to do a good job of mixing up his speeds on his pitches. The curveball seems to have a kind of a hard curveball, a little bit slower one. Same thing with the fastball. Popped up towards left field, curving towards a foul line, a long chase, and it's just foul. Long run for Lavigne.
On a normal day, that would have been a routine fly ball left field. The wind just held that up and brought it back towards the line. And Dave Lavigne didn't have a chance.
Murray with a good piece of hitting. That was a nice curveball, and he just stuck the bat out and made good contact on it. 1-2 delivery. Just missing outside.
So home plate umpire checked down to the first base umpire to see if he had gone around, and he didn't.
And another good piece of hitting by Murray as he fouls off the inside curveball, and the count remains 2-2.
Boy, he really took something off that curveball there. There's a knuckleball as he hits it into the dirt. Pretty decent crowd starting to gather here at Thornton Academy Field as I see a couple ex-alumni baseball players, Dave Jameson. A few other people back there watching the game today, braving the wind and the cold.
That's something over at Biddeford Saturday. We saw a large contingent on hand for both Thornton Academy and Biddeford. Of course, the rivalry continues. Thornton Academy still looking for W's against Biddeford. And he misses with ball 4, gets away from Gobiel. Good chance for him to get an extra base.
Yeah,
he
he's
may be
gonna
going.
go.
Murray's going for it. Gobiel picks it up, and the throw towards second will be late and overthrown. And good heads up running by Murray. Gobiel couldn't find the baseball on the ball 4. And Westbrook now has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, that wasn't Gobiel's fault. He's got to get some help. A third baseman or the pitcher.
Exactly.
They've got to tell him where the ball is.
I'm not sure if he was, as soon as you don't know where it is, you got to look to your fielders for assistance, not just turn there and stand with your back to your fielders, because they can't help you if you're not looking at them. Strike 1 to the catcher. Diaz. The runner in scoring position. Fouls that one back out of play. So quickly 0-2.
Where they're waving at that slow curveball and just barely getting a piece of it. So Murray showed some excellent speed getting around first and heading to second.
Grounded back foul right towards our camera. Could get ourselves a souvenir if we want to climb over the fence and fall on the field. Count hangs 0-2. Strike 3.
Another slow curveball, Jay. Got him swinging.
So Westbrook gets their first base runner via the walk, and they leave him stranded in scoring position. After 1.5 in Saco, the Trojans hang to the 1-0 lead over the Westbrook Blue Blazers. Jay Harper along with Tim Langelier, our cameramans today. We have dual cameramen, the Marks, Mark Pickard and Mark Cantra. I remember it was a BLM morning show. It used to be the Mark and Mark show. We got it here on CTV 30. As the wind dies down and the sun comes out.
They giving away prizes?
So far, a fairly fast-moving game. Langelier doing the job on the mound for Thornton Academy. Pepin quickly retired 2 on Thornton in the first, but then he loaded the bases, a couple hits, and a walk, and then Thornton got the run home with the infield hit by Dondi Wright. That's how we stand right now. Trojans leading 1-0 Due up this inning for Thornton Academy. Number 11, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, Kevin Gobiel, doing the catching today, followed by the shortstop, Keith Crutto, and then it'll be the top of the order, Dave Lavigne and Jeff Kamari. Trojans looking for win number 6. As we said earlier, after going 4-0 to start the season, they're now gone 1-4 in their last 5 games. Losing to Portland, Lewiston, Noble, and Biddeford. Gobiel, actually the leading hitter on the team unless stats have changed in the last 2 games. He's got a .474 average through 7 games, 9 for 19. Westbrook has a big team meeting at the mound. Crutto right behind him, 9th batter in Coach Ferrier's lineup through 7, was batting .375, 9 for 24 in the season.
Nothing like having your 9th hitter in the lineup hitting .375. A little high and tight on Gobiel.
You wonder if Coach Ferrier has considered moving him up to the 1 or 2 slot. Ooh, swinging the ball way over his head.
I don't think he could have hit that with a tennis racket.
He's chopping down at it, and it was about a foot over his head, too. A little knuckleball there, misses inside. It's 2-1 now. Little flare off towards second base. The pitcher going out, and Pepin makes the catch over the shoulder type, and there's 1 out in the second.
It's a good thing he caught it for Westbrook, because Gobiel would have been safe at first. The first baseman didn't cover the bag.
It would have been a tough play for the second baseman to do anything with, even if the first baseman was there. So, a little flare off the end of the bat.
You mentioned something about bringing Crutto to the top of the lineup. I don't think Mike Ferrier would make that move. That would put a lot of pressure on the freshman. Not that he hasn't had a lot on him already and handled it well, but to move him up from 9th to either the leadoff spot or second, he's taking a chance at breaking his concentration.
That's definitely one way to look at it. He's produced from that number 9 slot, so rather than take a chance and bring him up and hope that he can produce at 1 and 2, leave him right there and hope that your 1 and 2 hitters, who are good hitters, Lavigne and Kamari, start to come around. Pepin hat falls off as he delivers, but it's over for a strike.
I guess it would be the old cliche, if it works, don't fix it.
Down low in the dirt. 1-1 now, the count to the freshman Keith Crutto. Fastball swung on and fouled back out of play. 1-2 now.
There's a chance for Crutto to move closer to the 400 mark.
Oh,
hit him.
Got him somewhere up in the shoulder area, elbow to shoulder.
Well, it didn't phase him as he trots down to first.
Pepin not an overpowering pitcher by any stretch of the imagination. So Crutto will take that one, and Thornton Academy gets themselves a base runner here in the bottom of the second with 1 out, and that'll bring up the top of the order, Dave Lavigne, playing left field this afternoon.
Looked like a curveball, it just didn't quite break.
Pepin's been in tight a number of times to Thornton Academy hitters, and that time he got one.
Dave Lavigne flied out down the right field line, his last at bat.
Missing 2-0. Trojan hitters can be patient. I think they can work some walks and definitely counts in their favor. And there's the strike, 2-1 now. Throw to first. Credo dives back in. Credo's going, pitches up high. Diaz with the throw down to second, a little bit late, and Credo has a stolen base. Credo didn't have an amazing jump over at first, but you got to remember, Pepin, not a fast pitcher, doesn't have a lot of speed to the plate. His delivery a little slow as well. Diaz's throw was a little to the shortstop side of the bag, and Credo has a stolen base. So runner at second, 1 out now. Lavigne pops it up down the right field line. First baseman catcher giving chase.
Just out of play. Hustled by the first baseman. He almost had a play on it. I think you were right, Jay, when you mentioned earlier this will probably be the most consistently umpired game that we've seen all year.
No question. Ray Pitsy doing an outstanding job behind the plate. All four. Lavigne kind of took a swing at that after it went by. He had to be careful that home plate umpire didn't think he was swinging at the pitch. Curveball just missed.
He is lucky he got away with that.
Really? It's kind of weird. I don't think he was actually swinging, but the way he did it so quickly after the pitch went by. So runners at first and second now with 1 out, and that'll bring up second baseman Jeff Kamari. Kamari bats left, throws right, and he skies one out towards shortstop. The wind will blow that one down.
Infield fly rules in effect.
So automatically Kamari out. Now he's popped up 2 times in a row. Definitely having problems at the plate this year. Last year he was driving everything to the outfield. And that'll bring up Matt Cook with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Trojans leading 1-0 over Westbrook.
It appeared as Jeff Kamari was dropping his back shoulder down, which will cause you to pop up instead of trying to drive the ball into the ground.
Matt Cook up now. He got things started in the bottom of the first for Thornton Academy with a line drive base hit to left field. He scored Thornton's only run.
Well, it's popped up out of play behind us.
Catcher gives chase, just out of play. So Trojans again trying to get something across with 2 outs. They can't let Pepin off the hook too many times in this contest. Might start building his confidence and get him in a groove. Inside missing.
Where these hitters can feel comfortable up there today with Ray Pitsy behind the plate.
Baseball the way baseball should be played. Swung on and missed, strike 2.
Well, base hit here will play another TA run. Credo on second in scoring position.
Second baseman Conley trying to hold Credo on. Try to give the outfield a shot at knocking him down at the plate. Outfield definitely playing in with the wind blowing as strongly as it is. Probably the wise thing to do. Swung on towards left field. We'll see if the left fielder has a play. Comes in and makes the catch for out number 3. That's only about 10 to 15 feet outside the infield dirt. The infielder was playing in, and the ball was knocked down even more. So the Trojans strand 2 more runners. After 2 complete in Saco, the Trojans lead over Westbrook 1-0. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. We move now to the top of the 3rd. Westbrook trailing the Trojans 1-0. Westbrook comes in with a 3-6 mark. Trojans at 5-4. Leading off in the 3rd for Westbrook is number 25, Greg Posh, the shortstop. Posh will be followed by Levesque, and then back to the top of the order with Conley and Pepin. Langelier works a strike.
Great stab.
Makes a nice play at first. Nice easy throw over for out number 1. Outstanding grab as that ball hugged the ground to his backhand side. This will bring up number 18, Dan Levesque, playing right field this afternoon. Another extremely tall player.
Well, that should benefit Guy pitching today.
Making the strike zone a little bigger for him, but helping him out there, making the strike zone real big, is Levesque swinging at a low outside pitch, and it's quickly 0-2.
Now's the time to be smart and waste one.
See if he goes with a knuckleball. Oh, tries to fool him with the fastball.
Fooled us.
Gobiel catching this afternoon, calling the shots behind the plate. There's the curveball. See you later, bye. Got him looking, and that's the 2nd out. Ray Pitsy with a little flare back there, too. Ray was telling me before the game that Ken Hewitt, former Thornton Academy grad, 1980, is now an umpire. Has a lot of problems with some of the things that we say here on the air on CTV 30 during basketball broadcast or on my sports talk show. Now that he's an umpire, he can't take any criticism from the players or the fans on the umpires. Back when he played, though, it was an open game for him to say anything to the officials, but now he sees it the other way around, so I'm sure he'll be happy that the praise we're giving Ray Pitsy. That one just misses inside. It's by Gobiel.
Speaking of Kenny Hewitt, I received a response from him today, and he will be attending the alumni game come May 19th.
Good chance for us to heckle each other. Langelier quickly walks Conley. A 2nd walk of the afternoon given up by Guy Langelier. But I'll tell you, when I see a good umpire or official, I'm not afraid to say it, just as I'm not afraid to say if I see a bad one. And you remember the one we saw in Portland. That guy behind home plate, I don't know. There's just no place for him in any baseball game. Runner goes, throw down a 2nd, tails out towards center field, gets by, and Conley will move over to 3rd base. That ball just tailed out towards right field on the throw from Gobiel. So Conley has a stolen base, and on the error to the catcher, moves on over to 3rd. So with 2 outs, again, Westbrook finds themselves with a runner in scoring position.
I think we may see a lot of stolen bases today.
It's a tough win for the catchers to even throw down a 2nd. It's affecting the throws down a 2nd. You got to throw a line drive right over the pitcher's mound and get the 1 hop into the bag.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Great stop by Kevin Gobiel.
And for my 7th grade baseball team catchers, that's how you block a ball in the dirt. Getting the body out in front of it and blocking right off the chest protector. There's a strike down the middle. Count works even now to 2-2. Brian Pepin, the pitcher, trying to help out his own cause. He trails 1-0. Top of the third. Ground ball towards Credo, the shortstop. He's gonna have to make a long throw.
Oh, he
Just got him. And again, Nason with a great stretch and a good little scoop there. The freshman continues to make the plays. He's not charging the ball. He's giving himself a tough throw across the diamond. But with a wind behind him and a little bit of help from Nason, records the out. So the Trojans out of another small jam.
I can't wait to see that one on the replay. That was a close play.
Solid play. Nason got the little bit of a scoop. And the Trojans get themselves out of trouble in the third. Langelier has quickly got the first 2 outs in the last 2 innings, but then put a runner on and allowed them to get in scoring position. But luckily for the Trojans, they've been able to record that third out without anyone crossing the plate. So after 2.5 in Saco, Trojans remain on top, 1-0. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. Jay Harper along with Tim Langelier. Trojans trying to get back on track. I reckon now at 5-4. Really need this victory today.
A victory here today will reboost their confidence.
Coming up in the bottom of the third, cleanup hitter Chris Nason. He'll be followed by Guy Langelier, Don D. Wright, and Chris Stryker. Wind continues to howl. And tonight, back in the world of sports, we got Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics all back in action. And you see the Celtics are playing Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Boston Garden because the Bruins have locked up Game 5 at home against Pittsburgh. So the Celtics not wanting to go 2 days back-to-back. They want to give Bird as much rest as possible as he needs it, and a well-deserved one. So they'll go Thursday at 1, but tonight, all three in action once again.
Detroit Pistons personnel, they weren't too happy when they heard it was going to be a 1 p.m. game on a Thursday. They were not happy about that at all.
Popped up towards the shortstop. And going in to make the play is Greg Posh. 1 away. Another high pop out.
The wind brought that right back in.
I think all the hitters should just be waiting on the pitch as long as possible, trying to drive it towards right field. That's the only place you're going to get a ball to carry for you. Anything hit in the air towards left is going to be knocked right down. This will bring up Langelier. Looks at a curveball for a strike.
Well, about you, Jay, but I think my eyes will be pinned to the Bruins game tonight.
That'll be a tough call. Now that a little pop up towards short again, going out, then setting under it is Posh. Out number 2. 2 up. 2 recorded putouts by Greg Posh, the shortstop. Of course, the Celtics, now that they're playing Detroit, it's round 2. It takes on a lot more importance. So that'll be a tough one. But down at the Brunswick, we have about 5 TVs. I'll be down there working tonight, so I'll have 1 TV on every game. And with my remote clicker, change it back and forth. The greatest invention since the toothbrush.
That's how you drive your wife batty in a hurry.
No doubt about it. I am the master. I can watch 4 sporting events, 2 sitcoms, and 1 movie all at the same time. Grounded down the first baseline, rolling. Pepin tried to make the play in fairground to get the out. Usually they let those roll foul, but he saw that he had a play on Stryker, so he quickly tried to scoop it up and make the play, but it was just foul.
I think with the speed of Dondi right there, the pitcher's lucky he did pick it up in foul territory.
That's right.
Dondi proved his first at bat, hitting a routine ground ball to the shortstop. He easily beat the throw.
And he got himself an infield hit and an RBI for Thornton Academy's 1-0 lead. Dondi Wright running down the line, not striker. Fouled out of play.
The outfield is playing rather shallow. If he happens to hit a gapper, he'll end up at third without any problem.
And he strikes him out. And Brian Pepin and the Westbrook Blue Blazers have their first 1-2-3 inning. After 3 complete at Thornton Academy Sports Complex, Trojans hang to their 1-0 lead. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. We move now to the top of the 4th inning. Guy Langelier working a shutout through 3. If I'm not mistaken, has himself a no-hitter still. Westbrook still has 2 base runners, but both came by way of the walk.
We don't want to jinx him by talking about that right now.
Only through 3, but
Like I said,
that's right at.
wow,
Dondi
that ball
Wright.
was tagged. That was the best ball hit today, especially in this wind.
And the wind had died slightly, so it did carry a little further, but he drilled that. Dondi Wright positioned perfectly to record out number 1. Teammates don't want to talk about it, but guys in the broadcast booth, you know, we get away with more things. We can talk a little more. You hate to jinx your own team, but if it was the other team, you definitely want to say it a few times. And that'll bring up number 34, Jason Hansen. Hansen looks at strike 1.
Well, Nolan Ryan did it for a 7th time the other night.
Amazing. And he
On and on.
threw a 93-mile-an-hour fastball to get the last out. And that's driven towards right field. That'll be a tough play for Parody. Going towards the
What
line.
a catch. Nice
Makes
catch.
the catch. Got the glove back up. A beautiful catch. Greg Parody traveling down the line. That ball was blowing away from him, and he dives and catches it right on the foul line. That ball would have been just fair and could have been a whole lot of trouble. So Westbrook now catching up with Langelier, but 2 good plays in the outfield and 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th. Hard ground ball to third. Cook makes a nice backhand play, fires across the diamond, and 1-2-3. So after Pepin has a 1-2-3 inning, Langelier comes back with a 1-2-3. And we're still at 1-0. Trojans leading the Blue Blazers.
That was 2 great defensive plays.
Certainly was. Matt Cook right there wasn't a backhand play. I said it backhand. It was to his backhand side, but he kept the glove open-faced across his body, put the other hand on it, and then made the strong throw over to Nason. Nason, an outstanding first baseman, good stretches, and he seems to field everything that's thrown near him. And Matt Cook has been red hot, they say, over at third base, and he continues right there. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Langelier. We now move to the bottom of the 4th. Pepin taking his warm-outs out on the mound. So a solid inning defensively for Coach Barria's squad. And Langelier keeps the no-hitter intact through 4. Thornton Academy now needs to get the bats going here.
All right, we're going to start off with a designated hitter, Chris Stryker, who's hitting for Greg Parody.
What did he do his first time up, Tim? Get him under Parody, so that would have been him right there, Stryker. You don't get his out. I don't remember what he did. Pepin misses inside.
I think he popped out to the third baseman, if I'm not mistaken.
Inside again, ball 2. Striker will be followed by Gobiel and Crutto. And he's high, 3-0. Delivery taken for ball 4, so striker down to first base on 4 pitches. He leads off the bottom of the 4th with a walk, and now that'll bring up Kevin Gobiel.
Gobiel popped out to the pitcher in his last at bat.
Oh, it was that little flare that the pitcher made the nice running catch, headed towards second. Gobiel, a wild cut at the curveball.
A little mistake on Kevin's part there. The pitcher had thrown 4 straight balls.
Exactly.
Should have been taken all the way.
Oh, almost picked off. Was striker. He was asleep over at first base. It was a little lazy move by Pepin, and he almost got him. Base coach should take some criticism for that one as well. They both were asleep over there. Driven towards left field.
It may drop.
Shortstop going out. Falls in there. Base hit. And you can see the wind doing havoc with that baseball. That thing was driven, knocked down. Shortstop couldn't get it going out. Left
he may
fielder
be hurt. He's slow to get up.
He's just a little disgusted with himself and maybe lost his wind a little bit. He landed right on his stomach. But he was going out, left fielder coming in. Neither one could get to the baseball, so a little seeing eye single for Gobiel.
Kevin says, I'll take it.
Trojans have runners at first and second, nobody out.
It was an excellent try, too, by the shortstop.
Posh has looked sharp so far in the field for the Blue Blazers. And Murray was coming in from left field, playing very shallow. That one was no more than 10 to 15 feet again into the outfield grass. Now, with nobody out, Keith Crutto hitting. We'll see if Coach Berry will put the sacrifice on, try to move his 2 runners up, or will he give the young freshman the green light to hit away?
We get the first baseman about 6 steps on the infield grass.
Good play here would be have him hit one towards the second baseman, just by the first baseman. Looks at strike 1. Curveball over. Wheel on at first. Striker on at second. Wind picks up some more. Curveball swung on by Crutto, and it's quickly 0-2. So Coach Berry letting the freshman swing away. He's had a solid bat all year. Pepin has worked him with 2 curveballs.
He hit him with a curveball in his last at bat.
Little play on over at first with Gobiel's back. Striker not getting a very big lead over at second. Drives it towards center field, but it'll be held up, and the play is made for out number 1. That ball was solidly hit, but out there Mark Sawyer to make the play, and there's 1 out in the 4th. If you pull any ball towards the outfield and get any height on it, it's not going to go. Your only shot is to drive something towards right field. So now 1 out, runners on first and second. Top of the order, David Lavigne.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't have him try to bunt there, Jay, to advance the runners.
With a 1-run lead, more than likely that's your percentage play. But Coach Berry just feeling that Crutto has a solid bat and maybe can drive one somewhere, and
gave him the green light. He hit it well, too, just happened to hit it right at somebody. Dave Levine's fly wide to right and had a base on balls.
Missing low, 2-1 now to Lavigne.
So those are the type of pitches that were being called strikes in the last game that we did, Jay.
That was my thoughts exactly. Hitters now can use their real judgment in what is a strike and what is a ball with Pitsy behind the plate. And again,
Lavigne's going to get caught doing that one of these times. Anticipating ball four, and he's actually swinging the bat and throwing it back to the on-deck circle, but he may get called with a strike right there if he's not careful.
That time was a little less obvious because he swung so low, like he swung down at the dirt and just kind of threw it back. The other time he took a swing at knee high and threw it back, and that definitely could have been called a swinging strike. But Lavigne probably will use that as his little flashy style until he gets called for it. Hopefully it won't be in a real tough situation for the Trojans. But a good hitter knows the strike zone. Just has to hope the umpires are in with him.
Well, here's a chance for Jeff Kamari to prove what type of hitter he is. Bases loaded, one out.
He's popped up twice this afternoon. Gobiel getting an enormous lead over at second base. He's got to be careful. That shortstop zips back to the bag and the catcher guns down there. Got to be watching the catcher. And also the pitcher could have a quick play on with the shortstop. He's getting past the shortstop. Infield in for the Blue Blazers, looking to cut the run down at the plate. Bases loaded, one out, bottom of the fourth. Trojans leading 1-0. They scored a run in the bottom of the first, and that's where we've stood ever since. Kamari swinging at the high fastball, misses.
That may have been a ball.
He took his head off that ball too. He was looking out towards right field as he swung. Kamari, such a solid hitter last year, having problems with the bat this year. Pops it up again. Striker looking to tag. We'll see if Coach Verriel sent him. Actually, a shortstop.
Yeah, they called the infield fly rule. It didn't make the outfield. That ball would have normally been in center field on a non-windy day. But that wind just drove that right back in and ended up being a routine pop-up to the shortstop.
See Jeff Kamari visibly frustrated with himself. He just cannot figure out what he's doing wrong. 3 at-bats, 3 pop-outs, and that one coming with the bases loaded and 1 out. Coach Paul St. Cyr out talking to his pitcher, Brian Pepin, along with catcher Jeff Diaz.
Well, they should be talking because they don't want to make a mistake with number 18, Matt Cook, at the plate, because he'll lose a ball in a hurry.
Lose it out of the infield, maybe. With this wind, you're not going to lose many in the outfield. He can do what he did at his first at-bat, that solid line drive single. This wind is horrendous, and it seems for 2 solid weeks, every single day you get up and step outside, this wind has been blowing like this. Try to play tennis or ride a motorcycle in this, you know. Or play baseball. Bases loaded, 2 out, bottom of the fourth. Matt Cook, third baseman, trying to deliver. Takes high.
Well, I guess we can count our blessings. It's not raining, Jay.
This is true. 2-1. I just love to see these kids get to play in a 80-degree no-wind day. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. 2-2 now.
Right, Pepin's lucky Cook didn't get a hold of that ball. He just missed it. A chance for a couple RBIs. See if he can do anything with it.
Popped them up. But that is a skyrocket. Second baseman looking under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So the Trojans strand 3 more. Through 4 innings now, the Trojans have stranded 9 runners. And after 4 complete in Saco, Thornton Academy 1, Westbrook nothing. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. We move to the top of the 5th. Trojans hanging to that 1-0 lead. Stranding base runners after base runners. Leaving the bases loaded in the 4th.
Well, Jay, I just counted. We've had 15 fly ball outs between fly balls and pop-ups.
Maybe the theory on these two teams is that if you get the ball up in the air, the wind will blow it around enough that the fielders can't catch it. Hasn't been the case. And again, a major league pop-out is one that just skies. I mean, goes up about 200 feet, and most of them have been of that variety. Ground ball towards Cook, has to get over, makes a nice field, long throw, great stretch by Nason. That kid is amazing over there at first. Call him Limberman. Stretching out, scooping it up, and getting the leadoff man in the 5th.
I think we just created a new nickname for Chris Nason. We'll call him Stretch.
Unbelievable.
Well, Guy's getting some help today from some outstanding defense.
Bunted down the third baseline, and that'll roll foul. Cook fields it in foul ground. Diaz, the catcher now, trying to bunt his way on. That was Ryan Murray who led off the inning, grounding out to Matt Cook. Matt Cook, another solid play, going to his backhand side with the open glove face, and then pivoting and gunning across the diamond. A solid throw and an outstanding stretch by Chris Nason. And that's the kid who had the big knee surgery a year and a half ago. The injury in football. That shot out towards center field. Dondi right now, giving back. He can't play it, and it drops in for a double. And
that's too bad. That ball should have been caught.
And unfortunately, there's nothing you can call that except
a double.
Looked like he had it, and then it just started to blow around on him. He got turned around and dropped just over his head for the double for Diaz, the catcher. So 1 out, runner on second for the Blue Blazes. Ground ball back to Langelier. He might have a play on the runner. Throw over, he's got him.
Great play.
Last minute heads up. Langelier looked up quickly as he bobbled it. And not the best of base running by Diaz. He erases himself off the base path. He thought Langelier bobbled and started to go to first, but then at the last minute he looked up and checked the runner. And Diaz had already guessed that he wasn't gonna look over there and headed towards third, because he did hold up for a minute.
I think Diaz was anticipating the ball getting past Guy.
Strike one.
But Guy Langelier did get the glove on it and ended up making the play at third with Matt Cook. Not a very good base running play by catcher Diaz.
Reminded me of Mike Greenwell or Ellis Burks out there. Those two have been having all kinds of problems running the bases this year. Of course, Greenwell having a solid year so far at the plate, but on the base pass, ball gets by Gobiel, and that'll move the runner on down to second.
He didn't get a piece of that, huh? Looked like it might have been a foul ball. And Diaz reminded me of Steve Lyons, Psycho. That just wasn't a heads-up play. Not to harp on Diaz, because he is an excellent catcher and a good hitter.
Popped up towards Nason. Nason getting called off by Kamari. Nason called for it, but Kamari called him off. And the Trojans again stopped the Blue Blazes rally. And after 4.5 at Thornton Academy, the Trojans still lead 1-0. Westbrook getting another runner in scoring position, but erased on the fine play by the pitcher, Guy Langelier. And then they leave one runner on at first. And the Trojans come to bat in the bottom of the 5th. They'll have the meat of the order. Nason, the cleanup hitter, followed by Langelier, Dondi right, and Chris Stryker. Trojans trying to get some insurance runs on this 1-0 lead. Not giving Langelier much to work with out there on the mound. And they've stranded some base runners this afternoon. Through 4, they've left 9 men on.
Well, the wind played tricks on that fly ball of Dondi Wright. He got turned around. The ball dropped right behind him as he got spun around. Otherwise, guys, no hitter would still be intact.
It'll be a shame if he goes the distance with a one-hitter, because the one hit was really a playable ball. But again, the wind being a major factor in this game. So far, the fielders have been able to handle it. That was the one case where it caused enough problems for Wright, and he couldn't make the play. We were talking earlier about the Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics all being on, and an interesting trend we've seen through the 3 times that they've all 3 been on here in the playoffs so far. First time off, the Bruins and Celtics both won, and the Red Sox dropped that ball game at night 1-0. Then the next time around, the Bruins and Red Sox won, and the Celtics dropped the ball game. And then just the other night, Game 3 in the Pittsburgh series, the Red Sox won, Celtics won Game 5 in that great game at the Garden, and the Bruins dropped the contest. So the 3 prior times that they've all played the same evening or same day, one team has lost. So we'll see what will happen tonight. Hopefully it'll be the Red Sox. We can afford the Red Sox losing in this point, but the other 2 in the playoffs, got to get W's for them. Mason looks at a strike called leading off the 5th.
I think the Bruins and the Penguins game tonight is going to look somewhat like Desert Storm. There's going to be fights galore tonight.
Bruins will have to pick up their intensity. Game 3, they just looked like they were just out there to keep it close and give one to Pittsburgh. It was not the Boston Bruins that we'd seen in the first 2 games at home. Pittsburgh, a much larger ice rink.
I guess Mike Milbury called up his goon squad too. The names of Lyndon Byers and company, they're going to be coming up tonight. I guess due to the apparent cheap shots that were taken by Cam Neely, Ray Bork.
It's funny because in the first 2 games, we didn't see too much of that. There wasn't that much, fighting or cheap shots, not like the Bruins Canadian series where there was just all kinds of stuff. I saw more punches in the face with gloves on in that series than I've ever seen in all the hockey games I've watched. Strike 3 looking. Mason goes down.
Well, it was Game 3, first game in Pittsburgh, and
Pittsburgh trying to make a statement.
They made a statement, all right, and then so did Mike Milbury. As he said, we'll go an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So it should be an interesting battle tonight on the ice.
Pepin missing badly with that would-be curveball. He gets Mason looking to start off the bottom of the 5th. One and one now on Langelier. High and inside again. Pepin has come close to a lot of hitters, and when he's in tight, he's up around the head. Yeah. 3-1 now. 3-1 now.
A guy being at 6'3", he's got a big strike zone, and it makes it tough on himself. He's got to be careful. Yeah.
Takes ball 4 inside.
So he draws his second walk of the afternoon.
And that'll bring up Dondi Wright. Wright has the game's only RBI with an infield hit with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 1st. Somebody calling for time. Home plate umpire Ray Pitsy calls it as Pepin was in his delivery. Langelier gets back.
We may have something on here. Thornton needs a little insurance. Oh. Throw well over Dondi Wright's head. Snagged by Diaz.
Pepin, after opening up, looking strong against the number 4 hitter, Chris Nason, getting him looking. Now it's all over the place. Missing again inside. It's quickly 3-0. So Brian Pepin creating his own problems here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, it's just Pepin and Diaz now because Dondi Wright won't be swinging at this pitch. 3 balls and no strikes, not the wise thing to do. He's swinging at what could be ball 4.
Misses outside. Ball 4. Wright gave that a good long look. Kind of hesitated, wasn't sure if that was a strike or a ball. And that'll bring up Chris Stryker, number 16, DHing this afternoon. And that'll bring Paul St. Cyr out of the Westbrook dugout to talk to his pitcher. Trojans have had plenty of base runners, but again, can't come up with that key hit.
I don't think we'll have a change here. He'll probably keep him in. And he is going to keep him in.
I'd like to see the hitters wait on this pitch, look for maybe for that curveball breaking outside and drive it to right field. Pitch upstairs missing, ball 1. Coach Mike Berry should be having his hitters taking here until Pepin proves that he can find the strike zone. There it is, so likely Stryker now will be swinging away. Count 1-1. Popped up in the infield. And again, the infield fly rule on.
Another major league pop-up. If that wasn't 200 feet, it was probably 225, 250. That was up there.
I have never seen so many major league pop-outs, flyouts in a high school baseball game. The day you least want to do it, with a strong wind like today, if the wind was blowing out, yeah, you get something up in the air, it could get blown out there, but the wind blowing in, that's the last thing you want to do, and the hitters just continue to do it. 2 outs now, and Goldbeal, the hitter. Drive up the middle, base hit, runner going, that'll play to run. Perfect hit and run on for Coach Varia, and Goldbeal delivers his 2nd consecutive hit for the Trojans. And Guy Langelier comes across with a Trojans 2nd run. A great piece of coaching there as Mike Varia had the hit and run on with the runners on 1st and 2nd. Langelier took off, and Goldbeal just drilled it up the middle. Hard line drive into center field. Center fielder playing short, but still had no play because the runner was in motion. So now that'll bring up Keith Crutto, the shortstop. Runs at 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. Trojans trying to build on this lead. And finally push their 2nd runner across the plate. Missing outside and low.
Well, it's a chance for Keith Crutto to keep it going.
Kevin Goldbeal has looked kind of awkward up there in a couple of swings today. But then he comes right back and has 2 consecutive hits and an RBI. Throw over to first. Gobiel gets back.
Credo hit the ball hard his last at bat. See if he can do something here.
Hit it hard, but got it up in the air. It was knocked down, playable for the center fielder. In high, missing 2-0. Cardo taking, and it's 2-1 now. Runner going, and catcher holds up and doesn't throw it. So a stolen base for Don D. Wright. Looked like he had a throw over there. It would have been close.
I think Diaz thought it was strike 3.
Count now 2-2 on Credo. We'll see if Gobiel will be in motion now with runners at first and third. 2-2 count. Gobiel on at first, right. And there he goes. Misses outside, and Diaz holds up. So 2 back-to-back steals for the Trojans. Runners at second and third. Count is full. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Thornton Academy leading 2-0. It's a payoff pitch. Misses inside. Ball 4. So bases now loaded for the leadoff hitter, left fielder David Lavigne. A big opportunity for TA and Paul St. Cyr, Westbrook coach, coming to the mound again, and this will mean a pitching change for the Blue Blazes. And there'll be a swap with,
Third baseman, I believe.
looks like, third baseman Jason Hansen. And Pepin will move over to third to play third base, so a direct swap. Trojans have the bases loaded, as they've had 3 different times through 5 innings. And 2 other times they've left them full. This inning they have plated their second runner, first to come across since the first inning. We'll now see what they can do. As Jason Hansen takes his warm-ups, we'll take a short break and be back right after this on CTV 30. David Lavigne now steps into the box with the bases loaded. 2 outs. New pitcher on is Jason Hansen. Hansen works. Swung on, drilled towards right center. That looks like it might be in the gap. That could clear them all. Over the head of the right fielder, Lavigne. There comes 2 runners across. Here comes the third. Cutoff throw coming in, and that'll score all 3. And Lavigne has a stand-up double. Don D. Wright, Kevin Gobiel, and Keith Credo all plating for the Trojans, and that's the place I've been looking for the ball to be driven all afternoon, is towards right center. He got a pitch, drilled it that way, the wind took with it, and blew it over the right fielder's head. And Thornton Academy now has a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Dave Lavigne takes care of the bases, cleans them off, as he stands on second base now with Jeff Kamari stepping into the box. Strike 1 to Kamari. And Levesque really had no play on that in right field. He gave chase, ball over his head, rolling to the warning track. Hard ground ball towards second. And play is made by John Conley. So the Trojans are retired, not until they pick up 4 big insurance runs in the bottom of the 5th. Thornton Academy now leads 5-0 over the Westbrook Blue Blazers. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. Second baseman now, John Conley, who recorded the last out in the 5th for Westbrook on the play on Kamari, steps into the box to start the top of the 6th. Guy Langelier working now with a 5-0 lead. Thornton Academy finally getting that big key hit. It was delivered by David Lavigne as he got a stand-up double that cleared the bases. The Trojans picked up 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th. My partner Tim Langelier had to make way, so we're going solo. A line shot, and Langelier with a glove up with a great play for out number 1. Guy Langelier has been solid on the mound today defensively, as that's his 3rd outstanding play off the mound. And that'll bring up former pitcher Brian Pepin, now playing 3rd base. Pepin 0 for 2 so far today. Just missing outside. Just missing outside. 3-1. Ball 4 low in the dirt. So Langelier gives up his 3rd walk of the contest, and Pepin's on with 1 out in the top of the 6th. And that'll bring up Mark Sawyer, the center fielder. Sawyer has popped out to Kamari and lined out last time up a shot to Dondi right. So we have a large wind gust. Ground ball foul. Guy Langelier looking for his 3rd win of the season. He's 2-1 as a pitcher with 1 save. He gets a called strike. So it's 2 strikes now on Mark Sawyer. He's trying to move his mark even with David Lavigne, who is 3-1 on the year on the mound. Trojans try to bounce back after 2 straight losses. Actually, I believe it's 3 straight losses. After going 4-0, they lost to Lewiston. Then they bounced back with a victory. Then they lost to Portland, Noble, and Biddeford. Delivery, change up, and Sawyer pops it up out of play. Pepin, the runner on at first, and we we got a balk called against Langelier. Umpire Tony Levesque calling the balk on Langelier. And Pepin moves to second. So once again, Westbrook with a runner in scoring position. They've had one runner in scoring position 4 out of the 6 innings, but unable to deliver. One out. And Sawyer the batter. Thornton Academy's infield. Mason, the first baseman. Kamari second. Credo the short. And Matt Cook, the third baseman, as Sawyer takes ball 2. It's now 2-2. Sawyer hanging tough after starting 0-2. He's fight back to a 2-2 count. Ground ball up the middle. Credo with a play. He'll have to go to first. Runner moves to third, but Credo with a solid play once again. And there's 2 out in the top of the 6th. And that's Keith Credo's 3rd assist in this contest. And 2 out in the 6th with Pepin on at 3rd. And Jason Hansen, the batter. Drive towards second base. Kamari can't make the play. It rolls into center field. Base hit, and the Blue Blazers have their first run. A ball that looked like Kamari had a play on. Kind of rolled away from him. Got into the outfield for the hit and the run. Brian Pepin comes across for Westbrook's first run, and we're now 5-1. Trojans leading in the top of the 6th. Only the second hit of the afternoon for Westbrook and their first run. Looked like Kamari had the play on that one, but runner goes, swung on towards Matt Cook, makes the play, throw over to first, low, and it gets by Nason, and that'll roll out of play, and that'll give Westbrook their second run. Waiting for a ruling by the umpires as the throw across the diamond by Cook, and the runner was on at first and running on the pitch, but they only allow him third base, so Thornton Academy catches a break in that aspect. Runners now on second and third with 2 outs and only the 1 run across for Westbrook in the top of the 6th. We'll see what Jason Anderson can do. And that was an error on Matt Cook on the throw. Driven towards left field. Back there is Lavigne. Now he comes in and makes the play. So the Trojans escape major damage. But the Blue Blazers plate their first run. After 5.5 in Saco, Westbrook 1, Thornton Academy 5. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. Westbrook in the top of the 6th, picking up 1 run on the 1 hit. An error for Thornton Academy in that inning, but the error didn't cause the run, although on the base hit it was a ball that looked kind of playable, kind of fooled Jeff Kamari, the second baseman. It was just fluttered out towards second. He went towards it, kind of stumbled, and it just rolled by him, and that allowed Brian Pepin to score from third base. Academy now batting in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be 3, 4, and 5. Cook, Mason, and Langelier. The wind continues to gust at Thornton Thornton Academy Sports Complex. Jay Harper now going solo. Cameraman today is Mark Pickard and Mark Cantor, the Mark and Mark show behind the cameras. As I look up and see the camera focused in on me, I'm sitting here just trying to stay warm and block myself from the breeze. I had to go to the heavy coat and the gloves. I want to thank Tim Langelier for helping out through 5 innings with his color commentary. He had to head off a basketball game to play tonight, and then I'm sure he'll be off to some establishment to watch the Bruins play tonight. Celtics, Red Sox. Larry Bird's performance Sunday. The legend grows. 32 points through the back injury, the bruise to the cheekbone. Cook drives it up the middle, second baseman with a play, a long throw. The throw gets him. No, they call him safe. Cook hustling down the line. A good chance for Conley, the second baseman. He had a strong throw. That was a very close play at first base. But Cook leads off the bottom of the 6th with a base hit. And that'll bring up Chris Nason, who struck out looking his last time up. Prior to that, he flied out to the shortstop and had a base hit his first time up. Matt Cook now 2 for 4 in the afternoon. Hard ground ball back to the pitcher, Hansen. Play to Conley. Conley to first, and they got themselves a 1-6-3 double play. Actually, Conley was covering, so that'd be 1-4-3 double play. Mason hit it hard, but a strong play by the pitcher coming off the mound. Jason Hansen turned and fired to Conley covering. Conley with a nice throw over to the first baseman, Jason Anderson. Curveball misses, ball 1 to Langelier. Ball 2 low in the dirt. Langelier has walked twice and flied out to the shortstop. He has scored a run. He takes strike 1, 2-1. Tuesday afternoon in Saco. 5-4 Thornton Academy leading 3-6 Westbrook by the score of 5-1. Langelier draws the 2-out walk as he's now walked 3 times this afternoon. The first time by Hansen that he's drawn the walk. Brian Pepin now playing third base. Pitch 4 2/3 innings, and now it's Jason Hansen doing the work as he came on with 2 outs in the 5th. And he gave up that tremendous double by David Lavigne. Move over to first, and Langelier is back. Runner going, throw down a second. It's behind Langelier, and Conley has to play it back towards the second base side, and Langelier has a stolen base. That's where most of the throws from the catcher have gone today, is towards that second base side. With that hard wind, it really takes a strong throw to get it right at the bag. You have to throw a little bit towards the shortstop side of the bag to get it to blow back towards second base. A fluttering curveball taken high and inside. Coach Vera trying to be aggressive and get himself that run back that he gave up, but Dondi Wright misses swinging, and that'll end the 6th inning. Through 6 in Saco, the Trojans hang to that 5-1 lead as the Blue Blazes come to bat in the 7th inning. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. Into the top of the 7th now. It'll be the catcher, Jeff Diaz, facing Guy Langelier. Goes for the bunt, pops it up. Just touched in foul territory by Matt Cook, as Matt almost had a diving play to catch that in the air. Diaz with a nice bunt attempt. Second time he's tried to bunt his way on. Langelier throwing a 2-hitter through 6. As we work now into the 7th. He's been outstanding defensively on the mound. He's done a great job mixing up his pitches. Fastball, curveball, knuckle, and a great job at changing up on speeds. He's had Westbrook off balance all afternoon. The 2 hits that they have come up with, nothing solid. Both were plays that could have possibly been made. Not to put the complete blame on the fielders. They were tough plays, a bit awkward. The wind-blown double that Dondi Wright had trouble with in center field. And also that little flutterer out towards second base that Kamari had problems with. 5-1, Thornton Academy leading in the 7th. Diaz holds up, just misses outside on the curveball. 2-2 now. Gusty, windy day in Saco. Ground ball, Langelier up, makes the glove. Nice throw over to Nason, and there's 1 out in the 7th. Langelier has been outstanding off the mound today. That ball would have been a tough play as it headed towards the middle. Had Langelier not made the play on it. And that'll bring up number 25, Greg Posh, the shortstop. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Strike 2 called. And he gets him for the K. Two outs now in the top of the 7th. And that'll bring up Dan Levesque. Levesque, the right fielder. So far 0 for 2 on the day. He takes ball 1. Fouls it off. And that gets by Gobiel. Back to the stop here. on and miss, strike 3. So Langelier has himself a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts recorded in that inning. And a fine inning for Langelier through 6.5 in Saco. The Trojans 5, Westbrook 1. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. We move now to the bottom of the 7th. Jay Harper with our extra cameraman, Mark Pickard, sitting by the side. As you can see, the strong wind blowing here, blowing across us as it's been all afternoon. An outstanding ball game for Thornton Academy, finally getting the big runs in that 5th inning when they plated 4 runners, and they got themselves a 5-0 lead, now holding the 5-1 lead as we move now to the bottom of the 7th. Stepping into the box for the Trojans is number 17. I believe that's Jeremy Goslin, or as his father and grandfather like to call him, Goose Goslin. As he gets his first at bat, batting for the DH, Chris Stryker, who was batting for the right fielder, Greg Parody. So Goslin now into Coach Varia's lineup, leading off the bottom of the 7th. If they would change that rule in high school baseball that we've been asking for all season, go to the 7-inning contest rather than the 9, this one would be in the W column, and we'd be out of here, heading for a warm venue, undoubtedly. But high school baseball in the Telegram League continue to play 9 innings. Strike called by home plate umpire Ray Pitsy. Goslin backs out and rethinks his batting, and now comes back into the box. Facing Jason Hansen. On in relief of Pepin, and he takes strike 3 looking. So Goslin up and down quickly. First out in the 7th, and that'll bring up Kevin Gobiel. Gobiel, 2 for 3 on the afternoon, and his last one up, got himself an RBI on the nice hit and run. Popped up, maybe playable right in our area. Catcher Diaz coming back and makes the nice play for out number 2. A strong play for Jeff Diaz as Hansen gets Gobiel to pop up for out number 2. Wind continues to howl. Track meet going on over at Hill Stadium. Thornton Academy boys team in action, and I wouldn't think it'd be a fun day to be out there running on the track either against this wind. Unless they have all the sprints going with the wind, which I think they do, all going that way. So get the wind behind them, and that's not too bad. Might get some great times out there this afternoon, but the distance runners really not enjoying themselves running around that track, I am sure. Got my jogging in early this morning, and 2 miles down the Ferry Road with a piece of cake. Coming back was a little more difficult, but it wasn't blowing as strongly as it is right now. Credo takes inside, almost hits him again, and it's 3-0. Credo's been hit by a pitch, lined out to the center fielder, and drew a base on balls and scored a run in the 5th inning. Takes ball 4, so Credo back-to-back walks. Thornton Academy has a 2-out runner, and that'll Work to the top of the order now, and David Lavigne, the big hitter in this contest, with a bases loaded double in the 5th inning that cleared the bases and got Thornton Academy the 5-0 lead. And a lot of breathing room. Lavigne skies one towards center field, another major league pop out, and that'll be tough for Sawyer, but he chases with the wind towards right field and makes the play for out number 3. So after 7 complete in Saco, the Trojans 5, the Blue Blazers 1. Thornton Academy in that inning, leaving 1 man on. And we now go to the 8th inning. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. John Conley now leads off the top of the 8th for Westbrook. He pounds one into the ground, foul. Langelier now working into the 8th inning, got himself a 2-hitter. Conley, the leadoff hitter, playing second base this afternoon. Swings and misses, strike 2, 0-2 now. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Langelier records his 3rd K in a row. He got Posh and Levesque to end the 7th, and now he leads off the 8th by K-ing John Conley. Conley now 0 for 3 on the afternoon with a base on balls in the 4th inning. And that'll bring up 3rd baseman Brian Pepin. He started this contest on the mound and then was replaced in the 5th inning after going 4 2/3. Strike 2. Langelier now working comfortably at a good pace and finding the strike zone. Pepin was charged with all 5 Thornton Academy runs. He left with the bases loaded, and Lavigne came in and pumped a double off Hansen, cleared the bases, and all those runs were charged to Brian Pepin. So he went 4 2/3 innings, giving up 5 runs. Ball low in the dirt. Count full. Line drive center field, and that's the first clean base hit of the afternoon, and Pepin gets it. 3rd hit given up by Langelier, but the first solid one. There was no question that was a base hit. So Westbrook now has a base runner with 1 out in the 8th. That'll bring up the number 3 hitter in Paul St. Cyr's lineup, Mark Sawyer, the center fielder. Sawyer playing solid defense in center this afternoon. Now with a chance to get a rally going for Westbrook. Skies one that'll probably stay in the infield with a wind. It's Kamari, the second baseman. Started out towards the shortstop side, but of course blowing over to the right field side of the infield, and that's out number 2, another major league pop out. And I have never seen a game like this in my entire life of any game with that many major league pop outs. Those sky high pop outs to infield and outfield. I've never seen so many in one contest. And that's out number 2 in the 8th. And that'll bring up Jason Hansen. Hansen got that little single that flared out towards second base and then rolled into the outfield when it got by Kamari. and has Westbrook's only RBI. So he brought in Pepin in the 6th inning. Ball gets by Gobiel back to the fence, and that'll advance the runner over to second base. Brian Pepin now in scoring position with 2 outs in the 8th. 3 hits for Westbrook today. Jeff Diaz had the wind-blown double. Hansen had the floating single, and Brian Pepin with a line drive single here in the 8th for Westbrook's 3 hits. Ground ball down towards third, that'll go foul. Count 2-1 now on Jason Hansen. Now the pitcher. Swung on and hits Hansen in the box for a foul. Count 2-2. Langelier has 5 strikeouts through 7 2/3 innings. 3 out of the last 5 batters he's faced, though. Ball gets by again, Gobiel. Second pass ball on Gobiel, and that advances Pepin over to third. Count full with Pepin on over at third. Langelier will now go from the windup. Count full, 2 outs in the 8th. Drilled towards left field, tough play for Lavigne. That'll be in the gap, and that'll plate 1 runner. That'll be at least a double. Hansen legging it out towards second, and he'll hold up right there with a stand-up double. Ball hit on a line towards left field, not high enough, and the wind had died slightly, traveled, and Hansen has his 2nd consecutive hit and 2nd consecutive RBI, as that gets Westbrook their 2nd run and cuts the lead to 3. It's now 5-2. In the top of the 8th with a runner on second, 2 outs. So Westbrook still not out of this one yet. Brian Pepin has scored both runs for Westbrook as he comes across on the double by Jason Hansen. So Hansen, the pitcher, scoring the former pitcher, Pepin. Try to help each other out. Westbrook was to come back and win. Hansen could pick up the victory and get Pepin out of the loss column. Fly ball, shallow. It's Kamari taking charge just over second base for out number 3. So Langelier gets himself out of further trouble, but not before Westbrook scores another run. The lead now has been cut to 3 after 7.5 in Saco. Thornton Academy 5, Westbrook 2. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. The 8th inning in Saco at Thornton Academy Sports Complex. 5-4, Thornton Academy leading 3-6 Westbrook by the score of 5-2. Thornton Academy 3 outs away from posting their 6th victory on the year, but they got 3 more outs to swing away at themselves. And I'm sure Coach Very would like some more insurance runs, as Westbrook picked up a solo run in the 8th inning to narrow the gap to 5-2. Good curveball swung on and missed by Kamari, and it's 1-1. Have a new pitcher in there, Ryan Murray now, number 15, is on the mound. Gives Coach Paul St. Cyr a different look. Standing out on the mound, and a strong breaking ball to get strike 1 on Kamari there. Another curveball misses inside. Goes to 3-1. Kamari again struggling at the plate, 0 for 4 today. And this time he gets himself a walk. I'm sure Jeff's just happy to be on base. He's flied out to the center fielder, third baseman, the shortstop, and grounded out to the second baseman Pryor. He now leads off the bottom of the 8th with a walk, and that brings up hard-hitting third baseman Matt Cook. Cook takes strike one. Third pitcher on for Westbrook now. Murray, the left fielder, moving to the mound to replace Hansen. In the dirt, gets by Diaz. Hustling down a second is Kamari. Takes a big wide turn and then hustles back. That'll be credited a wild pitch to the pitcher, Murray. Runner on at second, nobody out. Fastball drilled up the middle. That'll be a base hit. Kamari taking the turn. He's coming. Here comes the throw. A strong throw. Looks like they got him at the plate. He's out of there. And a good hustle by Matt Cook to get down a second on the throw. A super throw from the outfield. You could see it was going to be close. Kamari chugging all the way. Challenging the arm and trying to get themselves an insurance run in the bottom of the 8th. But erased by Mark Sawyer, the center fielder. Cook picks up his third hit of the afternoon. He's now 3 for 5 on the day. So Cook's average probably well up into the 300 situation. It came in after 7 games at 300. Didn't have the stats from the last 2 games on Thornton Academy. They weren't compiled yet. But 3 for 5 performance this afternoon will definitely help out Matt Cook's batting average. Drilled to center field by Nason. Going back is Sawyer. Over his head. And that'll roll out there. It'll be a tough play as Cook rounds third. The throw comes in. He'll have to hold up. He was halfway. It looked like Sawyer was going to make the catch. And he stopped. And then it was over the glove of Sawyer. And not rolling far enough behind him for Matt Cook to score. So, tough call there. We'll wait and see what the official scorers give that. If they give Nason the single or if they give him an error. Ball was hit hard. Sawyer looked like he got back to it in time. Tough play. That'll bring up Guy Langelier. 1 out, runners at first and third. Throw over to first, Nason back. Ball low. So Murray comes on in the bottom of the 8th. He's given up 2 hits, a base on balls, a wild pitch, and he's recorded the 1 out on the flyout by Lavigne to center. Ball missing up high. 1 out, first and third situation. Coach Feria stayed conservative so far. Mason not having blazing speed over at first. Wants to get that insurance run. They've had 1 run gunned down at the plate already in this inning. Mason goes this time. Langelier, though, swinging to protect. And he pops it back over the screen. Checked with the official scores. They gave Nason a hit on that one, so Nason also with a single. Tough play for Sawyer. Couldn't get his glove up, so he gets himself a hit. Nason going again. Ball outside. Diaz coming up, fire. Nice throw, but a good slide by Chris Nason. Head first slide. Gets him the stolen base. Strong play by Jeff Diaz, the catcher. The ball was outside. He had to turn his whole body, but then he just gunned it and got the throw right on target. Quick tag, just missing Nason. So runners at second and third. They're out of the double play ball now. 1 out, Langelier the hitter. 2-2 the count. Ryan Murray working now. Murray steps off. Mason getting a huge lead. Sawyer, the center fielder, coming in behind Nason, playing a little cat and mouse with him. Nason trying to get that big lead. Skied in the infield, and that'll be the third baseman's ball. And he makes the catch for out number 2. Yet another major league pop out. Starting to sound redundant, but again, as I said earlier, I've never seen a game with so many of those type of flyouts in my entire career watching baseball, and I have watched a few baseball games in my day. 2 outs now, and that'll bring up Dondi Wright. Little flare towards the outfield. Second baseman going back, drops in, base hit, and 2 runs will score. Flared out there just in between second baseman and the right fielder. Coming in Levesque and going out was Conley, and neither could make the play, so a cheap hit, but Thornton Academy and Coach Berry will take it as that scores 2 more runners. And Wright picks up his second hit on the day and his second and third RBI. Both runners score. Neeson and Cook come home. And that gives Thornton Academy now a 7-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th. So back to that 5-run cushion that they established in the 5th inning. And that'll bring up Jeremy Goslin. Goslin looks at ball 1. Goslin got called out on strikes his first time up as he came in to pinch hit for the DH Chris Stryker and stayed in the lineup. Swings, hits one towards right field again. The right fielder coming in. Second baseman going out. Second baseman bobbles it. Here comes a strong throw to third. Rolls by and the pitcher backing up. And Goslin gets to second. And can't give that one a hit. Second baseman Conley had the glove on it. Bopped out of his glove. Rolled into right field, allowing Dondi Wright to move on over to third, and heads up running by Goslin gets him to second. So second and third, 2 outs. And now Kevin Gobiel. Gobiel's had himself 2 hits and an RBI today. He's 2 for 4. Scored a run. Drilled down and hard foul down the third baseline. As Ryan Murray came on to pitch this 8th inning, he's had no support in the field. A couple of tough plays, but they should have been made. And that's cost Westbrook 2 runs. Gobiel now with a chance to deliver 2 more. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Curveball swung on and missed. Quickly 0-2. Fastball pounded down the ground towards second base. Tough play for Conley. Scoops and throws him out for out number 3. We've completed 8 in Saco, and Thornton Academy picking up 2 more runs in that bottom of the 8th inning. They now lead 7-2. You're watching high school baseball on CTV 30. So who's coming up here? Number 15, Murray Diaz Bosch. Roll it. Little Hollywood talk as we move now to the top of the 9th inning. It's the Jay Harper and Mark show at Thornton Academy Sports Complex. And looking for the final 3 as Thornton Academy tries to nail down their 6th victory of the season. And Guy Langelier trying to go the distance and get his third victory. And he looks for a complete game W this afternoon. He's been solid on the mound all afternoon, giving up only 3 hits, striking out 5, and the 2 runs. It'll be Murray, Diaz, Posh, and Levesque. The bottom half of the order. Flared out towards center, Dondi right, underneath, and makes the catch. 1 down in the top of the 9th. Murray, the pitcher, in that bottom of the 8th. Westbrook's third pitcher that they used on the afternoon, and he gave up 2 runs and a couple of hits. A couple of watch balls by his fielders. This will bring up Diaz. And that ball bounced off the back of his head. Looked like just on his neck area maybe, as he gets hit by a pitch. First hits batsman for Westbrook. Hitters today, as Diaz gets on base for the 2nd time. He had a double in his 2nd at bat. 1 on, 1 out, top of the 9th. Rolls behind him. Gopiel having troubles in this later inning, squeezing it. He almost lost that one to allow Diaz to move to 2nd. Posh, the shortstop now. Posh 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Popped out to first, flied out to the shortstop, Crutto, and he struck out his last time at bat. Misses in tight. Langelier suddenly having control problems. Strike 1 called by home plate umpire Ray Pizzi, who has been stellar behind the plate all afternoon. As my former color person and I were commenting, by far the finest umpiring we've seen all season. Fly ball to the right fielder for out number 2, and that's Goslin now in right field. Another high pop out, and we have 2 outs in the 9th. 1 out away from win number 6 for Thornton Academy. And this will bring up the number 9 hitter, right fielder Dan Levesque. Diaz on over at first. Blue Blazes down by 5 runs. Langelier just lets Diaz know that he still has an eye on him. 2 outs and a 5-run lead. No need to work anything too tough. Line shot down the third baseline. Fair ball. But Lavigne over quickly to hold Diaz to only 2nd base. So runs at 1st and 2nd. The 4th hit given up by Guy Langelier. That was a hard single down the third baseline. Matt Cook not protecting the line as much as you would think with the 2 outs in the 9th inning, but good job by Lavigne to keep it in front of him and not allow the runners to advance further than the 1 base. So runners at 1st and 2nd, 2 outs in the top of the 9th. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, John Conley. Conley 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Flied out to center field, drew a base on balls, and popped out to the pitcher. Actually lined out to the pitcher. That was that hard line drive back to Langelier, made the nice glove catch, and struck out his last time up. So 0 for 3 with a base on balls. Westbrook trying to produce some magic, trailing by 5 runs with 2 outs in the 9th. Coach Beria has a conference with his pitcher-catcher duo, and we're back to work. Ground ball towards short. Stays down low. Credo up. Force over to second for Kamari. And that's it. Westbrook with one hit. They strand two runners, but they don't plate anyone. And Thornton Academy with a complete game victory for Guy Langelier. He moves his record to 3-1 on the season. And Thornton Academy moves their record to 6-4 on the year. And another outstanding performance. Second time around we've covered Thornton Academy. Both times they've been stellar. Getting some timely hitting. They left a lot of base runners on, but David Lavigne, the big 3-run double in that 5th inning, getting the score up to 5-0. And Langelier superb on the mound this afternoon. He struck out 5, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, both were earned. And Thornton Academy now moves to 6-4. Back in Saco in Thornton Academy, Jay Harper, where Thornton Academy victorious over Westbrook 7-2. Thornton Academy now moving to 6-4. Joining me now is the outstanding pitcher for Thornton Academy, not today, where he played a solid left field and had the big hit. Dave, a 6-4 record after you lose 3 games in a row, and after opening up 4-0, had to be a big win for you today.
Yes, it was. That's what we wanted. We just wanted to win. We didn't care how we got it. We just wanted to win.
Now, you've been outstanding on the mound this year, 3-1, and now Guy Langelier comes out today, goes the entire distance, goes 9 innings, gets himself his 3rd victory. He's now 3-1. What did you think of his performance today?
He pitched well. He was pitching just 6 strikes an inning. All he needed, pitching 3 pitches, 3 to 6 pitches. That's all you need to do, and you'll most likely finish a game.
Now, throughout the first 4 innings, you guys had a lot of base runners, but couldn't come up with that big key hit to get the runners home. I think you stranded 9 runners through 5 innings. And then in that crucial 5th inning, you had the bases loaded, you came up, new pitcher in there, and you finally went to right field. I was thinking that all day, that maybe the hitters should try to drive something to right field with that strong wind coming in. What were your thoughts as you stood to the plate?
Well, I was just in there, and I was walking, and I really hadn't hit the ball good. And I said if it was right down the middle, I was going to swing, and I was going to try to hit it towards right field because the wind was pushing out that way, and that's what I did. Just push towards right field.
And it must have been nice to see all 3 runners come across in front of you.
Yeah, it was. It was real nice.
Okay, your next game Thursday against Edward Little. David Lavigne, the machine, they're calling you now. On the mound, you're going for win number 7. What are your thoughts going into that game?
Well, just try to pitch strikes, and then if we can produce the hits, then we'll win.
Do you think your chances now for the team in the States, in the Telegram League, you guys are still looking strong and good position?
We're looking good for the States. Telegram League, we're not doing so well, but the States we're looking real good.
All right, Dave, congratulations on an outstanding win today for you and your entire team in that big hit in the 5th inning.
Thank you.
All right, for my cameramen Mark Cantor and Mark Pickard, I'm Jay Harper saying so long from Saco at Thornton Academy Sports Complex, where the final score was Thornton Academy 7 and Westbrook 2.